Right, hi everybody. Yeah, we did a little score system last time, didn't we? And in that time, I've just implemented a health system. Gonna try to do it a little bit different this time. Instead of going through step by step, I've made it, and I'm going to talk you through it. See which one we prefer, and we'll see how we go. So, what happens now if I press play? What you should notice is there is now a health bar. Ooh. And the character, he can still run over, collect coins. And there's these things here. I think I might clean that up in a minute. If I walk into one of them, see my health's gone down, and again, and again. There's this one here, puts a little bit of health back on. But if I lose all my health, boom, he's dead. So, how do we implement that? So, we've probably got your content folder here. We made the blueprints one. I've got a new one called. Actually, no, first thing we're going to do, we're going to go to the third person character. So, find your actual character, right click, find in browser if you haven't got it open already, and then double click, and there he is. That's a simple death effect. What I'm going to do is make a new variable here. So you click on plus, make it an integer, call it health, and then compile and save, and set the health to 100. Now you might want a different value, but 100 is a good value for like full health. That's everything. And that's fine. That's then set that variable, set that place to hold the actual information in here for your character. Cool. So what we're going to do then is go to our blueprints. We're going to right click, blueprint class, make an actor, and this one's going to be called BP underscore health. And I've set it up like exactly like we did with the coin before. I've got a box, I've got a static mesh, and I've got a rotator in there as well. And what we're going to do in the event graph, we're going to still do the begin overlap, going to the third person character, but this time we're going to pull out and we're going to get the health variable. And this is a health pickup, so it's going to be adding. So we hit plus, and we want to add, so we go plus, and we're going to go add integer to integer, and we make sure this is in the top. We add 10. I've decided that these health packs add 10 to the value. And they can be changed, you can change to 20, or whatever. If you want to be full health, that's fine. It's up to you what you want to do. 20 is fine, I guess, or 10. And then that is going to go back into here. So you're going to set the value of the health, so set, and then you're going to destroy the actor. Cool. And I've got one which is damage, and literally it's exactly the same. Everything's exactly the same. The thing's the same. The event graph, all I've done here, the only thing that's different is the health value here. You pull out and you hit negative, you hit minus, and you go integer minus integer, and I set it to 20 there. So these ones hurt you, these ones give you health. Ta-da! That's the health packs. That's all that needs to happen with them. And this is the more tricky part now, because it will work. You know, you'll have a health system, but it won't be outputting to screen. There's nothing there. So back to your HUD. If you go back to the HUD one here, so you double click on that, where we had the score before, I dragged another horizontal box. So in the panel, horizontal box, drag it in there. Dragged in a text box, oh sorry, a text, not a text box like I did before, called that health, and then put a progress bar, and that's that one there, and put that next to it. What you must do with the progress bar is you set it to fill. If not, it'll do this. And what the fill does, if I click fill and I select the horizontal box it all lives in, it just scales to that. So it's quite useful. Saves you having to draw it and put in absolute values and things. You know, wherever you put this and you scale it, your health, this is, you know, the full health, and it will just scale to that, which is quite cool. I quite like that. Yeah, let's put that back. There. Also anchor it to the top right hand corner so it can't go anywhere. That's fine. Another thing what people tend to get a little bit wrong is here percent, set that to 1. If not, well, you'll be able to see it working. There you go. If it's left to 0, it will never go up, so it must be at 1 to just show it's full. Right, so then it's a little bit of code needs to be done. If we click on the health bar, you then click on here and you'll create a binding again. And in my graph, I've got my binding here, so it's get percent. I go to get percent, and I cast again to the third person character. I link it to the get player character here on the back, and I'm going to drag out the health variable. And I want to divide this by a float this time. So no, it's integer by integer again. Sorry. And this thing, no, it's not. That's my bad. It's integer by float. Which one have I gone there? Well, drag it from here onto here, and then we're dividing it by 100. We're taking the health value, dividing it by 100, and then adding it to the return value. So that should then give us our health. And if we compile it and save it, and we play, the health bar should be full. If we run in, we're taking damage, get some more health, take more damage, and we're dead. Oh no. So how do we die? That's the last thing to implement. Damage, it's in the player character, third person character. It's a very simple one. I've got a event tick. So what the tick does, it checks every second of the game. So every second something happens, this is ticking along, checking for something to happen. And this is a branch. It's a bit like an if statement, true or false. Shortcut to get them is hold B on your keyboard and click, and that is your branch. And it's checking for a condition. And because it's in the third person character, we don't need to do any casting. We're looking for the health. So you can literally drag this value here of health, say get. And what we're looking for, we're looking if health is less than or equal. Yeah, an integer less than or equal to something. If this is less than or equal to 0, which would be when we're dead, drag it into the condition. And if that's true, destroy the actor. We might have something like, you can do something else like open level. So kind of like a reset. The level name of this will still stand, but I've turned to third person example map. Compile that, save it, play. So if I die now, it should restart the level. Yep, there you go, back again. Alright, literally with what you've got here, if you can get this working, you could then build a level around that. You've built a video game. Congrats. Yeah, you could have pickups, you can I'll show you one quick thing actually. I'm going to make a new folder. I'm going to right click and I'm going to call this materials. In here, I'm going to double click, so I'm in that folder. And it's a bit like making blueprints, sorry. I'm going to right click, I'm going to say material this time. I'm going to call this m_red. I'm going to double click that, and you get a lovely another interface to learn. Always good fun. Here it is, and this is a bit like 3D Max with the diffuse and things. We're going to drag out from base up the top, press the number 3, and we want a constant 3 vector. And if anyone's done any web development stuff or Photoshop, things like that, RGB, red, so 3 values here going in. And if you double click the black bit here, you can then choose a color. For some reason it's a bit weird. If you click on this thing here, get the full spectrum, get rid of the RGB preview, and then select a color, sometimes it doesn't match what you've got selected, so that's better. So if I turn this back on, your preview set ends up being a bit weird sometimes. There you go. If we hit OK on that, we've created a red. This is about as basic as can be. So I'm going to save that. So we see red for damage and green for, yeah, green for health. Right, that's fine. So make that, and literally just save us a bit of time. If I right click it and say duplicate, m_green. Cool, I'm going to make a green material now. Just double click that, put it up here, give it a sec to load in. We're going to swap that to like a nice green. Lovely, save that. Right, so we've got a red and we've got a green. And back to our blueprints, I'm going to go to our damage and go over to the viewport and select the object, and I'm going to change its material on this one. So damage is going to be red, compile and save, and health is going to be green. Magic. So you could try and make a yellow or something for the coins. Yeah, let's have a look. Ooh, magic. Yeah, silly things you can do. So now we've made like materials. They can be applied anywhere. They're not stuck to the thing that you've made. So here's our character. He's actually got 2 slots. So his main body could be green if we want him to be, and his chest could be red. If we compile and save, it'll take a little while to run in, but there it is, compiling. Come on. Waiting. And there he is. We've got a green dude, and the red chest is about to pop in. There it is. Probably better the other way. But anyway, there you are. Give it a go. Start blocking out a level with these simple mechanics and start a Kickstarter and make £1 million. Enjoy.